partying in an ancient city, lazing about in a lakeside village, and taking in the view from breathtaking heights. It's all in this episode of Travelogue. We'll explore Dali in Yunnan, taking you from the cobblestone streets of the old town to the top of Sangshan Mountains, uncovering the colourful Bai culture along the way. We're here in the ancient city of Dali, beautifully nestled between Sangshan Mountains to the west and Lake Arhai to the east. I've come and already fallen in love with this place. I know I'm not the only one. Hi, I'm Katrina Yu and welcome to Travelogue. Today we're going to find out exactly what makes Dali so special. If cities could speak, then Dali would have quite a story to tell. The grand walls and four gates of the ancient city radiate with a sense of imperial importance, giving us clues about its history. It was once a gateway to the Silk Road and always had a distinct identity, having been the center of the Nanzhao Kingdom during the 8th and 9th centuries. In the 1200s, Dali was fully absorbed by the Yuan dynasty. Today, it's one of the top historical cities in the country. Dali is just a 40-minute flight from Yunnan's capital, Kunming, but even if getting there was more complicated, I'm sure travellers would still make the effort. Here, locals and visitors make the most of the laid-back and lush environment. It's a tourist-friendly place that still feels authentic. But the appeal of this place isn't limited to its outside. What I think is most captivating about Dali are the Bai people who live here. It's an ethnic minority that's known for its industriousness, appreciation for the arts, and flair for craftsmanship. Bai culture can be seen on the streets of Dali today and has influenced everything from the city's architecture to its cuisine. In Yunnan, the food is so fresh, and so many of the restaurants have all their ingredients out for you to see, to be tempted. Look at this, look at all these fish here. Flowers. I've eaten some very delicious flower soup, but I'm kind of unsure about that. I've been told that those green things swimming around there are baby dragonflies. I have no idea how they're cooked or served. I don't think I really want to find out. But visiting the old city isn't only a chance to discover new dishes, it's equally a feast for the eyes. Now, I wouldn't describe myself as particularly big on shopping, but even I have my weaknesses. Dali used to be a major commercial centre, and today it remains a very pleasurable shopping experience. Not only can you come here and buy lots of different traditional Chinese things, you can see lots of weird and wonderful and very, very cute items and different kinds of decorations. And look at this. I think I really like this. Cute little food. 这个是多少钱? Now, just for the record, I'm not shopping for myself. It's a gift for a friend. Really. Now, back on the streets, I'm surrounded by young people chatting, hanging out, many selling or wearing things they made themselves. There's this cool carefree atmosphere that reminds me of London's Camden or Edinburgh's Old Town. 这是什么? 彩面啊，一个多少钱呢？10块。好。哦，你中文很棒哦。真的很棒。I think this is a really cool example of some of the kind of alternative fashions here in Old City. Look at that. It's really cool. And I think generally the young people who live here have a really incredible sense of style. Now, wasn't that a nice thing she said about my Chinese? Don't know how true it is, though. Now, Dali really seems to celebrate the culture of slow living. And what can be slower than good old snail mail? When's the last time you sent a postcard or a letter? Well, if you come here, not only can you send one, you can send one to somebody in the next few years. Now look at this, all the people who have sent future messages to somebody. I think it's a really cool idea. I might give it a go. Sending a letter which doesn't arrive for another 3 years doesn't sound like the most efficient thing to do. But that's not what this place is about. It seems like people here prefer to put their energy into enjoying life, not just getting through it. My observation is confirmed when I meet Daisy and her friends. In her early 20s, Daisy tells me she left a boring job back home and came to Dali to have an adventure.
This is Yang Bao, and she is my boyfriend, and Yuan Quan and Daisy. We didn't become friends until we come to Dali. We're all from different places of China. I'm from Hubei province. I'm just quit my job, and I like Dali, so I came here.
Why do you like Dali?
We can enjoy the great sunshine here, and you can feel that you are close to the heaven. That teaches me one thing, that life is short, and if you have time to enjoy, just enjoy it.
Take a look at this. Box, Dali Weekend Art Festival. It's a bit of a pity that we missed it. But, events like this, creativity, people getting together to eat and showcase their crafts, I think it really illustrates the vibe here in Dali. And even though we've missed this event, just walking across the street, we really get a sense of this really is an artistic center. And it's perhaps even more fun when the sun sets. The old city's Yangren Street and Renmin Road are popular places to spend the evening, and it's not hard to see why. During the day, Renmin Road has a vibrant creative energy, but at night time, this place really kicks off. What that instrument is called. It looks like a mini keyboard. But every time I see one, I know I'm in for an unconventional and fun performance. And that's exactly what we get. I can't understand everything being sung, but I'm told the lyrics are a little cheeky. But nobody at all seems to mind. Coming up next, Travelogue explores Arhai Lake, getting a musical lesson in life and love from the Bai. I try my hand at an ancient decorative art and kick back in a lavish lakeside guest house. With the morning, we head east from Dali's old city to explore its famous lake. This is the ship we're going to get on to see what Lake Arhai has to offer. I'm really excited. Setting off from the shore, you can catch a glimpse of Dali's new city, or Xiaguan. But before long, most signs of modernity vanish from view. Feeling refreshed and with a leisurely cruise ahead, I'm ready for my first lesson in Bai culture. One that's just as entertaining as it is educational. While a group of young Bai women perform a cultural dance about courtship and marriage, we're treated to their traditional 3 tea ceremony. It's a way to honor guests and reflects the 3 stages of life. The first cup of tea is bitter, signifying hard work. The second serving is sweet, pointing to what the Bai consider the most enjoyable middle stage of life. The last has a strong aftertaste. It's called reflection tea, symbolizing time to look back during the twilight years of our life. After going through a whole lifetime in one morning, I feel pretty productive and ready to get back to shore and see some of the smaller villages around Lake Ahai. Now, if you missed signs of Bai culture on the streets of the old city, you certainly won't miss it here. Each village has a regular market, which takes place once or up to 3 times a week, depending on the village's size. It's the perfect place to observe the customary Bai way of life and get a sense of their huge variety of fresh Yunnan produce that makes up their cuisine. It's also a great opportunity to spot some of the traditional clothing worn by Bai women of all ages. The colours and designs may seem similar, but there are subtle differences, depending on whether the wearer is married or not. We've just arrived in a town close to Lake Ahai, which is very famous for a particular type of baitsu tie-dye. The women of Zhoucheng and Dali use a textile dyeing technique which originated more than 1,000 years ago. It's a long process and starts with the painting of various patterns onto plain cotton sheets. Once the sheets are dry, they begin sewing lines of intricate knots into each of them. The way they do this will determine the look of the end product. He's teaching me how to sew using the guides that they just painted onto the material. I'm kind of worried I'm going to ruin it, but I'll give it a go. It's okay. I'm very slow at it. I think if I had to do this, it would take forever. So I think you just follow the pattern here, going in. So I think you just put the thread in and out following the pattern that was made to her. Ah, okay. Let's wrap it around and make that tight little knot she showed me just a few seconds ago. There you go. That's my little accomplishment. Once the knots are done, the sheet's ready to be dipped in dye and hung to dry. Whereas it takes these ladies 20 days from start to finish to complete a whole sheet, you can come here and do it for yourself in just 1 hour. Pay about 30 kwai for a t-shirt, and at the end of your time here, ta-da! You can have your very own baitsu style tie-dye shirt to take away. Something extra for your wardrobe too. Okay, so in 1 hour you might not be able to make the most authentic Bai textile, but you'll definitely be able to buy one prepared earlier. Each sheet is decorated with a pattern representing different aspects of their culture and lifestyle. And the end result, these sheets, can be used for a number of things. They can be bed sheets or tablecloths or hung on the wall as pieces of art. That's why they take so long to make. They're made for everyday use and they're made to last. Brand new baitsu tie-dye scarf in hand, we make our way back to the water's edge. There's so many places to visit around Lake Ahai, and the best and cheapest way to explore them all is by renting a bike. You can easily find a place that rents them out for about 20 or 30 kwai, or if you want to go a little bit faster, you can rent out an electric bike for about 60 kwai. Keeping with the slow living theme, I opt for the good old basic push bike. I'm not exactly the need for speed type anyway. I've always loved the feeling of riding a bike. You feel like you're flying, so free. And doing it around Lake Ahai, where the scenery is so beautiful, there's nothing better. I pedal my way to Shuanglang, a village on the other side of the lake. Once upon a time, this was a sort of sleepy fishing village. But today, it also offers something a bit more luxurious. But no matter your budget, the still waters and quietness of Shuanglang provide the perfect setting for getting some quality R&R. There are lots of different options for people who want to stay around Lake Ahai. Hotels and guest houses, but if I had my pick, I would choose to stay here. Not only because this is a very special guest house, but because it has a very special story. There are countless places in Dali where you can check in and enjoy rustic simplicity. But this is not one of those places. Mr. Wang Jiang's Skylight Resort is designed to feel like your little corner of paradise. And I gotta admit, it's pretty close.
Dali 是傣族，他们原来的一种社会发展、经济发展没有这么快的时候，他们的生活方式都是比较慢的一种状态，所以我相信很多人来大理就是因为有这么好的气候，完了它的一种空间感又比较不会让人比较觉得很拥挤。它是回到一个生活的一个原点，你可以每天做一点事情，每天慢慢的去在做的过程当中呢，去体验一种生活的很多细节的东西。就像我在盖这个房子的时候，它也是就是说，第一呢，就是你会去尊重当地的一种文化，就是原来白族的一种很美的一种审美的一种对房子概念的一种感觉。
It's built around a courtyard garden. Each room makes the most of the lake's temperate warm climate. And each piece of furniture was individually picked by Mr. Wang Jiang himself. Those who stay here as guests are able to cook their own meals and perhaps even entertain their own guests over there. I guess that's what makes this place really different. You're not just coming to Shuanglang and staying at a hotel as a temporary visitor. You get to live here and really experience the lifestyle of living here. And that's what makes this place so special. And don't worry if you can't afford to stay at a place like this. You can always enjoy the view for free. Coming up next, travelogue tours the 3 pagodas said to have kept Dali safe from legendary dragons. And I learned that wearing a feather blanket is a tiny price to pay to see the soaring view from Sangshan. No trip to Dali is complete without a visit to the city's iconic 3 pagodas. The Buddhist towers have stood watch over the city for hundreds of years. They were built to protect Dali from danger, and they seem to have worked. Of the 300 years that the Kingdom of Dali existed, it remained at peace. Of the 22 rulers, almost half of them were serious devotees of Buddhism, and the influence of the religion can be seen throughout the region. The 3 structures form a perfect triangle, with the oldest in the middle. Standing 16 stories high, it's one of the tallest ever built in China. Visitors aren't allowed inside the pagodas, but they're more than welcome to explore Changshan Temple below and the surrounding park grounds. According to ancient legend, Dali was once a swamp crawling with dangerous dragons. But walking through it today, it's hard to imagine this area is anything but a place of peace and prayer. Buddhism has historically flourished in Dali, and Changshan is one of the best-known Buddhist shrines in Southeast Asia. Thousands of pilgrims make their way here every year. But of course, it's not just pilgrims from Asia who are drawn to Dali. Travellers come from both east and west, and for many, one short stay can turn into months, even years. Australian Dave Shaw came to China as a backpacker. Today, he's a businessman. He runs the Jade Emu and Jade Roo guest houses with his partner Song. He says it didn't take long for Dali's relaxed lifestyle and sunny skies to win him over.
We run the Jade Emu guest house. We also have the Jade Roo guest house and the Jade Emu family suites. And this year we opened up this restaurant with a bookshop on the second floor.
Great. So how did you find yourself here in Guchang, Costa Rica?
Well, initially coming to China, I was really looking for just maybe some sort of business ideas, maybe some import-export and things. But when I got here, I really liked the place, and I decided to spend a bit of time travelling, backpacking up and down China. And that was when I met my partner, Song, and I couldn't convince her to come back to Australia to live with me, but the compromise was we'd find somewhere in China that we were both comfortable living, and would start there.
And what was it about Dali that brought you here?
There's a lot going for it. The weather, just got to look up at the sky. Yeah, great climate. No snow really. Things the locals are extraordinarily friendly. There's hardly any pollution here. It's a lovely little corner of China.
Obviously, this is my first time in Dali, and it seems to me that it's a city that's easy to fall in love with at first sight, and it seems very different in character to the rest of China. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. There's a real laid-back feeling here. Maybe people are just taking the time to enjoy the weather and things. I'm not sure, but there is a very different feel about the place. It only took us one day to really decide that Dali was probably going to be the place that we would settle down in.
While staying here, international guests of all backgrounds and ages can enjoy some Western creature comforts like a continental breakfast or a beer. But of course, Dali also offers visitors plenty of opportunities to venture outside their comfort zone. For example, perusing some precarious mountain peaks. Well, we've just arrived at Zangshan Mountains, and already at this point we're more than 2,200 meters above ground. When we get all the way to the top, it's almost 4,000 meters. It's a very steep climb, and we'll be taking a cable car. Luckily, I'm not too afraid of heights. Not too afraid.
Cut.
Hang on, did I just say above ground? What I meant was above sea level. Could the altitude be getting to me already? Well, we're going to have to rent and wear these jackets because it's extremely cold up there. What do you think? Kind of feel like I'm wearing a feather blanket. And in case you're wondering, a return trip on the cable car will set you back around 200 kwai. Well, it looks like this is our ride. But if you have the inclination and energy, you can always climb Zangshan by foot. And a word of warning to hikers, some sections of the mountain are particularly hazardous, and people have lost their lives here. So make sure you take the proper precautions or go with a guide. Unless you're Bear Grylls, of course. As we've gone higher and higher, we can already see around us the plant species are slightly different because the altitude changes so quickly. Here we go. However you get to the top, I can guarantee you it's worth it. I'm so lost for words that I completely forget how cold it is. Of course, the bulky red jacket is probably helping on that account. Now, these plants all around us may look like ordinary shrubs, but they're actually rhododendron flowers. We're not in the right season now, but when May comes, they blossom, and this whole mountain erupts in the sea of purple and red and yellow, and it must be a really stunning thing to see. But even if you don't catch the flowers, there are enough mountainside temples, walking paths and waterfalls to keep you occupied all year round. You know, when I first arrived in Dali, I was wondering, what is it about this place that people love so much? But after walking the streets of the old city, looking out into the view of Ahai Lake and enjoying the water, relaxing in Shuanglang, and then coming to Sangshan and seeing this magnificent view, I really know why. Whether you're a sporty type and you like hiking up mountains, or you want to take to the water, enjoy this water scene or do some water sports, or whether you just want to sit back and relax, or like me, want to engage in the creative energy of a place, Dali really has something for you. It has something for everyone. And I think my question is answered. I know why people come here, and I know why I have fallen in love with this place. I'm Katrina Yu. Thank you for watching Travelogue. I'll see you next time when our journey continues.